I woke up with a start, the darkness of my room illuminated only by the dim glow of the streetlight outside. For a moment, I lay there, disoriented, trying to make sense of the noise that had roused me from sleep. It was a soft, almost imperceptible sound, like a distant whisper. I strained my ears, wondering if it was just a product of my half-awake mind, conjuring imaginary sounds in the dead of night. But then it came again, a faint but unmistakable creaking noise, like a floorboard shifting under someone's weight. My heart began to race, and I slowly pushed the covers aside, my bare feet touching the cool wooden floor. I crept to the edge of my bed, my senses on high alert. Was someone in the house? The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the rhythmic thumping of my own heartbeat. I strained to hear, my breath held in my chest. Maybe it had been nothing after all. Maybe I was just being paranoid. But then it happened again, a soft, deliberate creak. Closer this time, coming from the direction of the living room. Panic gripped me, and I knew I couldn't just stay in my room and hope it would go away. I tiptoed to the closet, my hands fumbling in the dark for the baseball bat I kept there for emergencies. Gripping it tightly, I took a deep breath and made my way down the hallway towards the living room. As I reached the entrance, I couldn't believe my eyes. There, in the dim light filtering through the curtains, stood a figure dressed entirely in black, from head to toe, including a mask that concealed their face. My heart pounded, and my grip on the baseball bat tightened. Without hesitation, I swung the bat at the intruder's ribs, a solid connection that sent them staggering backward. The intruder let out a muffled cry of pain, but I had no time to celebrate my temporary victory. As I tried to process the surreal scene before me, the intruder swiftly recovered and, with surprising agility, lunged towards the open back door, desperate for a quick escape. Fear and adrenaline coursed through me, and I chased after them, raising the bat once more. But it was too late. The intruder slipped through the door and vanished into the night, leaving me standing in the cold, empty darkness. I locked the door behind them, my hands trembling, and called the police. They arrived shortly afterward, taking my statement and searching the premises. The intruder was long gone, leaving no trace behind. As the officers left, one of them offered a stern piece of advice: make sure to lock your doors at night. I nodded, my heart still racing, realizing just how important that simple precaution could be. I had narrowly escaped a terrifying encounter that night, and it was a stark reminder that danger could lurk in the darkness, just beyond your bedroom door. My high school years were filled with the thrill of pole vaulting, a sport I had come to love and excel in. I had worked tirelessly to secure a university scholarship, my ticket to pursuing my passion at the collegiate level. But one fateful evening, a simple accident would shatter my dreams and lead me down a painful and terrifying path. It was a typical evening after practice, and I was helping my mom in the kitchen, drying a heavy cast iron pot. As I reached for a towel to wipe the pot's surface, it slipped from my grasp, tumbling toward the tiled floor. In a split second, my instincts kicked in, and I moved my foot to avoid the pot crashing onto it. But in doing so, I struck the corner of the kitchen island behind me. The pain only registered when I absent-mindedly glanced down at my foot, noticing a minor cut with a trail of blood that I brushed off as insignificant. I didn't give it much thought, assuming it would clean itself during my post-practice shower. So I continued with my rigorous training regimen, blissfully unaware of the festering wound within me. Weeks went by and I noticed something wasn't right. The cut on my foot had become red and swollen, and it throbbed incessantly. My fear of missing crucial meets and losing my scholarship led me to ignore the warning signs. Instead of seeking medical attention, I concealed my worsening condition. It was a decision that would prove disastrous. The infection in my foot continued to spread, unbeknownst to anyone. It was staphylococcal, a dangerous bacterium that can wreak havoc on the body if left untreated. The turning point came during a crucial meet. I had managed to hide my pain and discomfort for so long, but on that day, the torture became unbearable. I planted my pole, pushed off, and as I cleared the bar, a searing pain shot up my leg. I couldn't hold back my cries of pain, and I collapsed onto the mat. Coaches and teammates rushed to my side, their faces filled with concern. I was in too much pain to move, and they eventually called an ambulance to take me to the hospital. The doctors at the hospital were alarmed by the severity of the infection. It had progressed to osteomyelitis, a bone infection that required immediate attention. I underwent multiple surgeries to remove the infected tissue and save my foot, but the damage had already been done. In the end, I emerged from the hospital with my foot forever altered. The dream of pole vaulting at the university level was shattered, replaced by the harsh reality of my condition. I could no longer compete, let alone pole vault. It was a devastating blow, and I couldn't help but think of the chain of events that had led me here. The initial accident, the fear of missing meets, and the decision to hide my injury. It was a cautionary tale of the consequences of prioritizing ambition over one's own well-being. My days of soaring through the air with a pole in hand were over, and I had to find a new path in life. The pain of that loss would stay with me forever, a constant reminder of the high cost of my misplaced determination. Traveling overseas with friends had always been an exciting prospect, promising adventure and unforgettable memories. Little did I know that one night, far from home, would become a chilling tale of fear and uncertainty. It was a vibrant evening in a foreign land, and my friends and I had decided to experience the local nightlife. We ventured from one lively bar to another, reveling in the energy of the unfamiliar city. Laughter and goodwill filled the air, and for a while, it seemed like the perfect night. As the evening wore on, we decided to make a quick stop at a convenience store to grab a few essentials before heading back to our hotel. I opted to wait outside while my friends went inside to make their purchases. Standing alone, on the dimly lit street, I felt a growing sense of unease. The foreign surroundings and language barrier added an extra layer of vulnerability. I tried to shake off my apprehension, reminding myself that my friends would be back shortly. That's when I noticed a group of local men, clearly intoxicated, approaching me. Their laughter was boisterous, and their drunken swagger was unmistakable. My heart began to race as they closed the distance. Without warning, the group surrounded me, their leering faces illuminated by the convenience store's harsh, fluorescent lights. They began taunting me, making derogatory comments about my appearance and gesturing aggressively. Their words were laced with threats of violence, and I felt a sinking dread in the pit of my stomach. One of the men, the most intoxicated of the group, cocked his fist back as if preparing to strike. My breath caught in my throat and my hands trembled as I instinctively raised them in a feeble attempt to defend myself. Time seemed to stand still in that terrifying moment, and the threat of physical harm hung heavy in the air. My friend's absence felt like an eternity, and I prayed for their swift return. Just as the tension reached its breaking point, the group of drunk locals abruptly backed away, their laughter turning to cruel jeers. My friends emerged from the convenience store, blissfully unaware of the harrowing encounter that had taken place. I couldn't find my voice to recount the ordeal, and as my friends greeted me with smiles and laughter, I simply followed them back to our hotel. The night had taken an unexpected and sinister turn, leaving me shaken to my core. Back at the hotel, I couldn't shake the fear that had gripped me. The thought of continuing our night out was out of the question. That's when I broke down and told them what had happened. We continued our trip without any further incidents, but I never did get over the terror of that first night. That trip, I learned a sobering lesson about the vulnerability that can accompany travel, especially in unfamiliar territory. It was a chilling reminder that even the most thrilling adventures can take a dark and unexpected turn, leaving an indelible mark on the soul.